Let's talk about October before we dive into November. Today is day 11 of our 12 days of inks. Well, of course, if it's November and I only have one video left, then if it's 12 videos, this is video 11. Deep magenta is basically my favorite magenta color of all the inks that I have tried so far, and so it's a really wet ink. And in this Lamy 2000, it was just such a joy, and I totally would use this over and over again. This is one of those pens where I feel like I could live with only this ink in this pen forever. So this worked really well. Unfortunately, it's one of those nibs that sings on this paper. So I feel it's okay. See, the journalize inks, if you have any of those, please comment down below. Do they work the same for you? I would probably not use this as a transcription journal or as a journal where I dump my daily thoughts, which I've been doing basically all through these 11 days that I've been filming. This was my daily journal entry. I did not journal anywhere else. But since I know that this is coming to a stop, I'm totally fine with that. And it's half an A5 page, so I can live through the squeaky sound, the singing sound of this nib on paper. But thinking about using this for anything else but playing with ink, documenting my currentlies, and all those things, I don't think I would enjoy this. So that's definitely something that I did not know about Cosmo Air Light paper before I started using this journal. So let's start with all the inks and the pen that I have chosen for November. That is really fresh in my mind, and maybe that's the reason why I picked 4 inks. I would consider Teranishi Guitar Gentle Green as a good enough dupe for Krishna Chennai. I do have a share. This is how it looks in a pen. Let's see if I can find here. It is different, but it has similar qualities, and they're so similar for me that I was able to, because I wasn't able to purchase a bottle of Krishna Chennai anywhere here, I went with this one instead. These were the other contenders as dupes. They just happened to arrive at my doorstep basically at similar times, and so I was able to compare them. I really also like Diamine Evergreen. That is one of those inks that I probably will get a bottle of, because it's Diamine, and a 30 ml bottle is it's not really that much. So it's interesting for me also, maybe I can talk about this while I'm swatching those inks, that I do have many of the inks that I shared with you here. I do have a bottle, Pelikan Edelstein Appetite. I have Earl Grey tea. I have, of course, Tea Time, because that's one of those cozy comforts. I purchased Yuki Akari. I have Yundon Yu, A-Star Spattered Hill. I actually also have Konpeki as a bottle. So many of the bottles that were favorite bottles of inks in 2023, I either ended up purchasing a bottle of because I knew exactly that I liked those, or I actually already had them, which was a good thing as well. I forgot to show you my currently inked for November, so I'm going to do that in just a minute. Oh no, I splattered. So I think that's an interesting thing, and I love. So what I noticed is that I really enjoy inks that go down one color and dry a different color. This one goes down very teal, blue leaning, but it dries to a green. And that just fascinates me so much. So I need my card. Where is it? Yeah, as this journey comes to an end, almost, Teranishi guitar, I wanted to just quickly say one more thing about Max, the dog that joined our family just not even a week ago. When I'm filming this, tomorrow it will be a week. I can't believe. Gentle green. I'm ready for a dog as long as I'm not the main caretaker of the dog, and that was clear to every person involved in my family when we brought him home, and it's been working really well so far, and I think that's exactly how it's going to go from here on out. So just to make sure that you understood what I was talking about yesterday. And my husband is doing an amazing job taking care of him as well. So that's cool. I'm going to see how that looks. So another ink that I chose, maybe I can talk, this is kind of jumbled, so we'll just go with how jumbled this already is. Let's look at the November currently inked. I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 pens inked. These were both the same ink color, so I had 10 different inks, but 11 different colors. I just wanted to see how this ink performed in that pen. But I really liked the colors that I picked. I still carried some of the inks over from October, I believe. No, not all of them. So I had Teranishi Gentle Green that was inked right here. Brandy Snap, I think. Yes, I uninked that and swapped out the ink from this test here. Dominant Industry Earl Grey Tea. I loved the ink and I wanted to see how it looked in the monarch nib. And then one of the tried and true, and I think I mentioned that before, this is another example. The Pilot Custom 74 with a medium nib is a really good, reliable pen for me. It works with most inks that I have thrown at it. It handled them like a charm. And so I always, or when I'm not really sure about the ink, but I want a good writing experience with it, I tend to gravitate towards this pen. The SD in Sea Glass was inked previously in October, and I think I already had it inked. Let's check where that. No, I inked in October. I put this ink because I liked it so much. I had it in a Pilot Kakuno, and I wanted to see what it looked like in a journaler slip, and so I carried that over. And then Tender Purple was still inked here. The Deep Magenta was carried over, and then I wanted to try and use the Diamine All the Best, which was an ink from the Inkvent, and I wanted to use all of those Inkvent inks in 30 days, but I completely forgot that we also got a 30 milliliter bottle, and so I made sure to use that in November before the 2023 Inkvent, and I put it in a Lamy with a 1.5 stub nib, and again as the theme is going, this ink was just such a surprise because it was shimmering all the way through. It flowed well from the Lamy, and even though it's a sheening and a shimmer ink, I just fell in love with how this ink looks. And so I need to share this here, and I'm curious to see how this performs in other pens. That's one of those things, when you have so much ink, the next time you try this ink is like 2 years from now. So I'm really happy that I tried this one more time. Diamine. It's a really dark wine red Merlot color with I think it's a gold sheen and purple pink shimmer. All the best. So that one was really great. And then I also really, really liked Ferris Wheel Press Atlas exclusive iron ore. I had high hopes for some of the inks. There's just a tiny bit of shimmer in this sample, and that's almost empty as well. Yeah, this is how much is in there. Let's put it up here. I didn't think that I would like this ink so much, and I wonder if it's because there was just so little shimmer in it, or what was so special about this dark, almost black, and you can see it's leaning blue on this paper, gray with a, is it gold shimmer? I'm actually not really sure, and I haven't checked before I showed you. Well, if you do have a bottle and you would, I don't need a sample. I was just like, I would love to see how this performs in other pens, but I have so many inks that I want to use as well that I would like to try before I go and revisit others. Ferris Wheel Press Atlas. I would love to try this ink in a different pen and see if it's still as good as I had experienced it in the pilot. But yeah, I'm going to film a video about this, maybe, hopefully, next few days, to let you know about all of my ideas that I have for my project Ink Down. And this almost fell. Well, that's a way to get rid of your inks really fast, very easy. Well, easy is relative. Yeah, I would love, there's so many inks that I would love to try. Can you see how this is a cyan blue? Yeah, on camera it looks more purple leaning, but trust me, it's more on the cyan color, on the cyan side than the blurple side of blues, and it's a lovely, lovely sheener. I have heard from other people who say that it doesn't dry, and there's the sheen just sticks and smears a little. I have not had this experience, but then again, I have not used this extensively enough to know. Yeah, I've been thinking, there's so many inks that I would love to know, to try to know. I know them by name, Ruby Blues, but I don't feel guilty of acquiring more, but if I get more and more and more, I would like to reduce before I add more. And I know that one of you out there, and if you're the person that I'm talking about and you recognize yourself, please know that I loved your offer of sending me inks, and I feel like I need to do all of this and swatch more of the inks. Are you going outside with the dog or alone?
I go Schneeschippen.
Oh, you go Schneeschippen. He's going to shovel snow. I need to swatch all of those inks that are down there dreading me before and use more of them before I can accept more ink samples. Sounds weird? Yeah, and then I will just publicly say that I'm ready to accept more inks. That I'm ready for another 250 ink samples. Yeah, maybe I'm all inked out by 2025 and then I don't even need any more. So, well, okay, the pen that I'm using and that I'm inking is, of course, the Benu Euphoria. It's an Atlas exclusive Benu. And I do have, well, there is some ink. I don't need more ink in this. I also, okay, so first let me talk about the Benu, and then I'll just quickly ask you that one question that I had this idea this morning, so I need to get it out there. I actually now have three, I'm a liar. I have 4 Benu Euphorias, yes. 4 pens of the exact same model, just different colors. And if I had to pick just one, I think I would keep this one. They're all really lovely and they all shine in their own way. But because I hope you can see the pearlescent of the turquoise here. It's just so pretty. And it just, there's so much to see when I'm looking at this pen. I discover so many different things. Yeah, when I pulled this out yesterday or earlier this morning, and because I knew I was going to use this, it's like, yeah, this just hits differently every time I use it. The nib that I used this with was a medium nib, and so I'm going to write Benu Atlas TUS Euphoria Gold Coast, and it's a medium nib, and these nibs are just so wet. During Inkvent, the best shimmer experiences that I had was with my Benu nibs, with my Benu pens, and the nibs that they are using is Schmidt nibs, and so maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, so these 4 inks were the standouts from November, or even starting in September, this one. But those, I just needed to get all of those on here, and you can see how lovely this ink dries. When I swatched this in 2021, I remember that I was like, I was so disappointed by this gaudy ink, and now I can't get enough of it. So maybe we should never ever get rid of any of the inks that we have, because our tastes always change. Let's see how the bleed through. Oh, that was good. Maybe the paper is different every time, because here, can you see this and this, and I really don't like how this looks, but for this side here, it looks really good. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you back here tomorrow for the last video. Maybe I'll do a little recap, but I've been recapping everything all the time, so I don't really know. The idea that I had that I wanted to ask you is, I still have several pens inked from the Inkvent. I have all of those pens inked. Would you love to see these are all the pens I have just inked video? But probably, I don't really know, because okay, let me just talk. I miss you guys. well, I never talk with my family about inks and pens, but I somehow, maybe it's because I don't have enough time to meet with my friends on Discord. Well, read what they write on Discord when I'm not at work. But I totally miss bouncing back and forth ideas. So my original plan was to unink all of those pens once I'm done. And then start my project ink down, and then have a January currently inked pens, but I'm not really using my pens besides this at the moment. So I don't know really what I want to do next. I don't think there is snow removal stuff. Like, what the heck? Maybe I should go outside and add a little snowy clip here. I will do that in a second, but let me continue. That was my original plan, but plans change, and so I'm tempted to just keep those pens inked, or the ones that I really like, for a little while, and tell you about my project ink down in a video, and then whenever I'm ready to unink those, then actually start. I did have a currently inked for January, but there were no new pens in 2023, and I did not die because I didn't have 12 currently inked. And that's also something that I'm not sure that is going to happen for me in 2024. Those, compact little monthly packages of pens and inks. I've talked about this in other videos as well. And so if I'm giving myself permission to step outside the arbitrary rules, then maybe I need to start in January and just do whatever feels best. So I would love to hear if you would like to see basically a writing sample of all the pens that I had inked. I saw Wasky Squirrel calls it, and I think other YouTubers, they call it pens in use instead of currently inked, which feels like, I don't know, is there a difference even? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that, but where was I going with that thought? If you want to see a writing sample of the pens that I don't use, just ink, then let me know. I'd love to share them, possibly. I don't even know if I'd love to share them. I just love talking about pens, and even if it's the same thing over and over again, I love. But the thought was we could just look at all the pens that I still have inked, see if they're still writing, if there's still shimmer visible. And I'm curious about that. And if you are too, and you want me to film it, then I would love to hear that in the comments down below. Okay, so that was the thought and the questions that I had. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Look at the pink fluffy clouds. And this is the very first snow that we see since we moved here to the United States. Basically, almost. Okay.
Vergangenes Jahr.
Oh yeah, last year. Oh, we were stuck here last year. Once or twice. Yes. Doesn't matter.